I remember what it was like to be working my 9 to 5 and just dreading going into that office every single day. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't have a step-by-step path of how to get out of my current 9 to 5. That's what I want to share with you today. If you are looking to start a virtual assistant business, but you're still stuck in that 9 to 5, I've got a plan for you right here. If you haven't met me yet, my name is Abbey Ashley. I am the founder of The Virtual Savvy. Here at The Virtual Savvy, we love helping you ditch that 9 to 5 and live your freedom life by starting a virtual assistant business. And that's what we talk about all the time here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified every single time I release new content. Since starting our virtual assistant training program in 2016, we've helped thousands of entrepreneurs start their own at-home business, many of which have quit their 9 to 5. Seeing the testimonies flood in of students who have actually been able to say, I quit my job, I was able to leave my 9 to 5. These stories is what wakes me up in the morning because I know that we are getting you closer and closer to your freedom life. I want you to have those same success stories. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 steps you can take to quit your 9 to 5 and become a full-time virtual assistant. Every good road trip starts with knowing where you're going and knowing how you're going to get there. And the best way to do that was with a step-by-step plan. I'm gonna date myself, but how many of you guys remember printing off your step-by-step directions, or even better yet, getting a map and making your plan of where you're going to go on your next road trip? Well, in the same way, you need to know where you're going and you need to know how you're gonna get there. So step number 1 on quitting your 9 to 5 is having a solid plan. Your solid plan should include deciding what virtual assistant services you're going to offer in your business, how you're going to price and package those services, knowing what your end goal is, how much should you be making per month in order to leave your job. Coming up with those numbers, having a really specific this is my end goal plan is going to help you so much when being able to quit your job. My team and I created an entire resignation roadmap. It is a multi-video series that actually leads you through this process, choosing your services, knowing how you're going to block out the time to make this happen. It leads you literally step by step through that process. So I'm gonna link to it right here so you can go ahead after this video, save it, and go check it out. It has been incredibly resourceful for those students, specifically the ones wanting to quit their 9 to 5. You can have a perfect plan, but if you don't have the time to commit to that plan, you're not gonna see any forward motion. So step number 2 is to make time to follow your dream. Have you ever heard the old adage, you don't find time, you make time? I believe in this pretty wholeheartedly. The thing is, we all have the same number of hours in a given week, right? There is no person on earth, no matter who you are, where you live, that gets more hours in a day. So you get to decide how are you going to spend those hours. I do hope that even in the process of starting a business that you're still taking care of yourself. Make sure that you are getting exercise, make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure that you are taking care of yourself, but you've got to really evaluate your time. Most of us just go in and out of our day and we aren't being intentional with the time that we have. And so if you're going to be working a full-time business and starting a side hustle, you're gonna have to get really honest with yourself and how you're spending your time currently. This is why I would suggest you start off with a time evaluation. What this looks like is you take a look at your week. You can literally track it if you want to go that granular. You can use a tool like Toggle. Toggle is a timekeeping app and you can literally on your phone or on the desktop keep track of where your time is going. Or you can just, blanket it out. If you know, okay, I'm at work from 9 to 5, I wake up at 7 a.m., I get my kids to school, etc., etc. If you know what your time generally looks like, just go ahead and map it out. This is my current schedule. This is currently where my time is being spent. And now you're gonna have to take an honest look at that and decide, how am I going to fit this side hustle in? It's not just gonna happen, you don't find time, you make time. So when is going to be the time that I'm going to commit to working on my business, right? And I want to reiterate, there is a difference between devoted time and distracted time. As a a mom, I know that if I am trying to get work done while my kids are running around the house, asking me 100 questions, like tugging on my shirt for things, trying to snuggle, as much as I love the snuggles, it's just not gonna happen, right? Like I'm not gonna be able to do both. So whenever I am working on my business, I'm working on my business so I can be fully present with it, which means that when I'm with my kids, I can be fully present with my children as well. So I really, really like the idea of having that clear-cut boundary. When are the devoted times I'm going to work on my business with absolutely no distractions? Now, you may be looking at your schedule and saying, I don't have that time currently. And that's a real possibility. Most of us are busy people, right? So then you take a new version. This is what my time currently looks like, and this is what I want it to look like, right? And so that might mean that you have to make some adjustments. It might mean that you have to wake up an hour earlier or go to bed an hour later. Again, I don't want you sacrificing sleep in order to do this, but if you're sleeping 10 hours, then hey, go cut it down to 9, right? Or, make yourself get up or be more disciplined going to bed. I can raise my hand on that one. Maybe one less Netflix show so I can get to bed earlier so I can actually wake up and spend some devoted time on my business. It might mean that you sacrifice your lunch breaks at work, and that is that devoted hour that you're going to spend per day on your business. It might mean that you need to do a babysitting swap, right? Tell a neighbor, hey, I'll watch your kids on Monday nights if you watch mine on Tuesday nights. And then that way you're able to actually have a few hours per week of devoted time with no distractions. I really want to emphasize in this whole process that it's okay to ask for help. I am a fairly independent person. I hate asking people for things. I hate asking for favors. It's not something that comes naturally, but I have found that if you're going to do something really great, you're not going to be able to do it entirely alone. So it's okay to ask other people for help when you need it, right? So ask friends, ask family, be willing to do those trade-offs in order to find ways to carve more time out of your schedule. You might also have to say no to some things. Maybe you are the first to sign up for every single fundraiser or PTA event that your kid's school does. Maybe you are, just the first to raise your hand to help somebody out, which I think is great. But we do also have to carve out time that is for us, right? And so if you're one of those people that's always saying yes to other people but never saying yes to yourself, you might need to evaluate what are some boundaries I need to put in place, what are some things that I need to say no to so that I can say yes to myself and my own dreams. Step number 3, you need to mentally prepare. So you have a good game plan, you have carved out the time to make this happen, and you're almost ready to actually get out into the world and tell people about your business, mentally preparing that this is gonna be a lot of work. Now, I don't like to sugarcoat this part because the reality is you are working a full-time job, right? And you are wanting to build your business to be a full-time business. So at some point, this business is going to stack up while you're still not quite ready to quit your full-time job, right? So in that period, you might not be it at first, but once it starts, there's going to be a season where it's a little crazy, right? There's going to be a season. So you need to mentally prepare. And again, as we said in step 1, you have to know your goal. You have to say, I know what I'm fighting for. I know what the end game is. You also need to be really, really clear in that mental preparation of what the switch is of when you are going to quit. Is it that, hey, I'm gonna quit once I have a certain number of clients, or I'm gonna quit once I have a certain amount in the bank? I highly suggest that, right? Any money that you're making in this new side hustle, throw it into a business bank account and don't touch it, right? Let it sit there so that once you have 3, 4, 5 months expenses, whatever's comfortable to you saved up, that could be the point where you're like, I can breathe and quit my 9 to 5. You're the only one who can choose that. So you need to mentally prepare. This is not forever, and come up with that game plan of this is when I know I'm going to quit when I reach this certain goal. I would love to know in the comments below, what is that brink for you? What's that breaking point where you say, this is the point where I can quit my 9 to 5? Is it a certain dollar amount in the bank? Is it a certain number of clients? What is that point when you say, okay, now when I'm at this point, I will be comfortable enough to quit my 9 to 5? Let me know in the comments below. Step number 4 is to begin marketing your services. Again, you have that game plan that we came up in the beginning. You know your services. You know how you're going to price and package. You've got your business all set up. You've set it across the time. You've mentally prepared. You know that end game result. You know when you're going to quit. So it's time to finally start marketing. And marketing is one of the most exciting, but also also can be one of the most scary parts of starting a business. I totally understand that. I've been there myself, and we've led thousands of people through this process as well. My recommendation to you when it comes to marketing your virtual assistant business is to start out with the people that you know, your friends and family. Now you might be thinking, Abby, my friends and family aren't business owners. No, they aren't. However, think about this. Close your eyes. It's okay. Do it right now. Do you know one business owner? Just one, right? It could be an insurance agent. It could be somebody that owns a mom and pop shop. It could be a health coach, a real estate agent. Do you know one small business owner? I hope one person just popped up in your head. Here's the thing, just like you know one small business owner, everyone you know knows one small business owner. Just one, right? It might be more, but they know at least one. And so literally just by telling your friends and family, hey guys, look at this exciting thing that I'm doing. This is my new venture. This is what I'm going to be doing. You're literally expanding your potential client base so many times over. So it's so important just to start out by just telling friends and family, announce it on Facebook, let it come into your natural conversations. Hey, this is what I'm up to. This is what's exciting about what I'm gonna be doing next. That is one of the best things that you can do. It's the very first thing I did when I started my VA business and was able to sell out my services within 6 weeks of launching. Now, I will say this, once I told my friends and family, my second step for me personally was to attend local networking events. Local networking events are awesome for finding clients. You can go to Facebook, you can actually search for events happening in your local area. You just go to the search bar, you type in networking events or business events, and you can look up events that might be happening near you. In the same way, you can go to meetup.com, you can type in your city and your state, and you can look up events, type in words like business, entrepreneur. These types of words are going to generate local events that might be happening in your community. And the last place you can find local networking events is through your Chamber of Commerce. If you just Google, like for me, I Google Springfield Chamber of Commerce, and as I live in Springfield, Missouri. And so what will happen is just, hey, what are the events happening at my local Chamber of Commerce? This is a really great way to find local networking events happening in a community that you live in or one nearby to you. You're working a 9 to 5 while starting a side hustle. This may take a little longer for you than somebody who has 40 hours a week to commit to their budding business, right? However, if you stick to it, if you remember your why, if you know this is worth it, just keep going, you will make it. So my last suggestion for you is not to give up in the journey. You've got this. Surround yourself with people who understand, who are going to encourage you along the way, and do not give up. Okay, I want to know in the comments below, what is the very next step you need to take to get a little bit closer to quitting your 9 to 5? Let me know what your next step is going to be. If you don't already know what your next step is, my recommendation would be to take our resignation roadmap. This is the culmination of years and years of experience building our own businesses, building the businesses of students who have gone before us, who have been able to quit their 9 to 5 and live their dream life. And so we want to share our experience with you. It's a step-by-step roadmap. I know you're gonna love it, so make sure you check it out. All right, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you in the next video.